What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Cinco, where three friends get together and discuss their favorite five in hopes that it brings up topics for you to talk about, things that you might think you agree or disagree with us, but it's all good as long as you're having a conversation about it. Now, this week's show is brought to you by British Knights. Remember that shoe that had a hot run in the 90s for like maybe, I don't know what, a year or two, but they were kind of fly. If you're a West Coast kid, I know for a fact you know what British Knights were, but I had a pair. But then they got attributed to gang stuff, and then I got rid of them because I got scared. So British Knights, guys, I'm sure they're
Were
probably
they
still
gang
out there.
shoes?
Yes, they were something
No.
killers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so uh, like I wasn't trying to kill nobody. Like that's what I was trying to do. So I was like, nope. That goes right there with those Nike Cortez that I never wore for the same reasons. But yeah, British Knights, guys, look them up. They were kind of fire. Enrique, did you have a pair of British Knights when you were growing up?
I never did. No,
No, I
I'm
did. I
I'm
had a
look
pair of
I'm
BKs,
looking them
man. They
up.
were kind of cool.
I'm looking them up right now.
Mine were black and whites. I remember that. They were
You
black
know,
and whites British Knights.
I've never heard of these.
Yeah,
No?
man.
I remember seeing them.
hmm Oh, I could do like 30 episodes of shoe brands alone and shit that defunct and went away, dude. Remember Lottos? I'm not gonna use it anymore because I need some for the entry of the show, but Lottos were hot for a split second too.
I've
I
heard
I
the
am a
don't
poor
name.
remember
man's
Lottos.
Yeah, Lottos. Their emblem was kind of like a sideways square. Yeah. Bro,
I
this is
don't
the
know
thing. I'm
those.
like a poor man's shoe guy. Like I can't afford to be a shoe guy, but I'm still interested in the shoe themselves. Like I get like nerdy
Hmm.
on stuff like that. Like right now, recently, freaking Puma bastards released four different type of Ninja Turtle shoes, but like one was a Krang version, which was kind of pink. One was a Dr. No, what's the Bachman, the scientist, the guy who makes the little robots. I think it's Bachman. I can't remember,
In
but
the
he's a
Ninja
Turtles character.
Turtles?
If you watch Ninja Turtles, it's a scientist that makes all the little robots.
Oh,
That was
no.
a pair. Then they did the four turtles and two shoes. So it's kind of like a Michelangelo and Leonardo pair, which different color shoes, and then a Raphael and Donatello pair. But what was crazy is the best of all the four shoes was actually the fish shoe, which is the shredder, but you could only buy the shredder if you bought the four other shoes. So to even get invited to buy the shredder, you had to buy four other pairs of shoes.
That's
And
a
I guess
racket.
what? I'm not getting the shredder. I was like, and the shredder was cool. It was purple with metallic on it. It looked dope, man. And a lot of them are the not Lonzo, sorry, the which ball, the other ball, the one that's good, Enrique. Um,
Lamelo.
LaMelo, yeah, the LaMelo ball shoes. So a few of them are off of his pair of shoes, which I guess Puma's doing really well with, man. He sells a lot of shoes, it seems like. The kids seem to like them. So I mean, and I don't know. I realize now that I can't really wear basketball shoes that much. Like they're
Is it
uncomfortable
too
and stuff like
high?
that.
Is that why? Or they're
Yeah,
like
they're
flat?
high. They're kind of uncomfortable. They're bulky for a lot of it. They don't really look good with jeans in the sense of the part sometimes,
Mm.
depending on which ones you wear. So I mean, but like I said, if you're a kid, I've been noticing a lot when I go to basketball games, like at the high school, whatever. That a lot of kids do wear. That's the shoe they're wearing too, and also they're not super expensive.
Mm.
Seems like a few of the basketball guys have realized that like there is a sweet spot where you don't have to sell it for $250. You can
Don't
sell it
price
for a
out
hundred and something.
price out your
And
kids.
yeah, man. I mean, some of these shoes like Jordans and LeBrons are like at 250 almost a pair. And you're like, God dang, right? So they look cool. They're from a basketball player that's killing it out there. He's not the only one. I think Kyrie's shoes were priced at that level. I think Kevin Durant's were
No,
priced at that level.
Kyrie's are pretty cheap.
Right? And now, especially since he moved over to whatever the
Yeah,
Anta, I
well,
think is right. Yeah.
the Nikes when he was with Nike, they were
Yeah.
they were
They were
cheap
cheap.
compared to
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Well,
he was one of the first ones to kind of do that.
why would you spend $250 though if they're not comfortable? I get
Because they look
style. I
cool,
get
Stevens.
that. I get it.
Stevens,
I
don't
know I
ask dumb
answered it as I'm
Come on,
questions.
man.
asking.
Why do people do 99% of what they do?
I
Because it looks
Plus,
fucking cool.
Stevens,
I
plus,
answered it at the same time because then I was
yeah,
like, women wear high heels that are freaking uncomfortable, and those shit's expensive too. So I get it.
and
God damn, but
and
their
remember
calves and
when
their ass
you're
is amazing.
and
I'm
remember
just,
when you're
I just
younger.
saying it, bro.
Yeah, when you're not wrong. When you're younger, you can put up with a little bit of pain more than
Yeah,
when you're older,
acceptance.
you don't
Mhm,
care. You have to be comfortable to make it through the
Yes,
day.
mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
I think
You know,
that's
So
I
where
mean,
my mind is not style anymore. My mind is comfort.
but
yeah.
like I'll be honest with you, I think Vans aren't very comfortable, but I have a shit ton of Vans because they're just classic.
I
Like
think
that's
they're
just a classic
comfortable
silhouette
for
to me.
like a work day, but then I
I
think if you're wearing them all day somewhere, they get
Well, and if you're
Hmm.
going somewhere where you're gonna be walking a lot, you know what I
Yeah,
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So
yeah.
if you go to an
If I
amusement park,
there you go. But I've
you're not gonna wear
worn
your
Vans to
Vans.
an amusement park.
Have you?
I have. You know what I mean? That's
When
the
was the
thing.
last
But
time though? Recently?
no, if I have like you, I think we all. I know you guys probably do have your pair that you go when you use amusement park
Hmm.
walking or whatever. So I have like a pair of Pumas that I kind of do that. You know,
Yeah.
where I know that those are my comfortable ones or whatever it is and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I don't know. I just what I like about Vans is number and again, Vans is another company that's kind of realized like we don't have to be expensive, bro.
I love Vans. Vans
Yep.
Vans,
are
dude, and even their like non-traditional Vans are kind of fucking slick, bro. Like they've
Yep.
come out with two or three different silhouettes recently where I'm like, oh, they look good.
I feel like
And
Vans goes
again,
they
oh, go
go
ahead.
good with everything.
Everything, everything, bro. It does not matter, dude. It looks good.
Well, and they make that comfy cush now, so they are making it for older people.
Stevens is like, well, how I am about shoes. Stevens is about the cush. She's like that comfy cush, bro. I mean, like, I mean, here's about that comfy cush.
Yeah,
I'm
there you
in
go.
it, bro. But no, you're
You
right.
don't have to get the slip-ons anymore. You can get those comfy cush and be good.
The comfy cushions, because I can't. I'm not gonna do fucking. Look. I'm not gonna do anything orthopedic looking. I can't.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Mm-mm.
a
Yeah.
fucking. I can't, bro. I may and we can have this conversation 30 years from now. I'll probably still my feet will hurt because I'm in fucking Vans, but I'm gonna fucking at least rock something that
Push
halfway looks decent.
pushing your walker.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta at least have something cool. I can't, man.
You
But
have
I'm
to.
not gonna be spending $250 for a pair of Jordans at that time because they're gonna hurt
And
too.
that makes sense, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the only thing. So, Stevens, we talked about this a little bit last time. I wanted to share a
Oh.
fun fact with you, and then I wanted you to fill in the info on this one. But here's a fun fact. I thought this was
Oh
kind of
no.
interesting.
Okay.
I
I
did
hope I know.
something that I usually don't do. I did research. No, I didn't really do research,
What?
but I found a
Oh,
fun
okay.
fact. And the fun fact is this: that Jack the Ripper. Now you know what I'm talking about, Stevens. Jack
Okay.
the Ripper was still making headlines when Nintendo was founded.
Mhm.
So Jack the Ripper was out there still being the
Who's Jack the
OG
Ripper?
of OGs. What the
You don't know
fuck?
Jack the
God
Ripper?
damn it. Son of
Are
a
you
bitch.
are you being facetious, Enrique, or you really don't know?
Please, Enrique.
I'm really
Are you
I
serious, bro?
I'm asking. I've heard the name, but I
Oh,
don't know who it is. Like what it is.
okay.
Oh.
All
See a
right. Well,
movie? See some
let me,
movies or
let's,
There's a few movies,
I swear
yes.
to God. What sucks is that, like, I really didn't think I had a preference for this one, but fuck if I'm corrected by Enrique. I know how I get about movies, but like, really? Jack the Ripper, bro? So let me just read this, and
wait,
then
hold on.
Stevens will fill
Let
you
me
in on
hold
who it
on,
is.
hold on. Yes, yeah,
Well,
hold on.
he's
Oh,
gonna
while
tell
you're
you. He's
researching,
gonna
God
tell
dang it,
you.
most
No.
Yeah.
people
If
know that
you
Nintendo. What? Let me
go
read
ahead.
it. Most people know Nintendo as a leading light of late 20th century video game culture, producing blah, 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 blah. But the company was actually founded in Kyoto, Japan in 1889. And
Yeah,
I
long
remember this
ass
because I
time
saw one of
ago.
the, like, how our toys were made or whatever.
Yep.
If it would produce handmade playing cards. That's how it
Yep.
started, was making handmade playing cards. In that same year, Jack the Ripper was in the news because he had killed his fifth victim. So, Stevens, for Enrique and everybody else who does not know about Jack the Ripper, who's Jack the Ripper, Stevens?
Well, who they think he is recently, or just like who the
Or
story
well,
is?
like the myth behind him or whatever. What was he doing out? What was he doing to the street ladies of the night?
Well, that's basically it. What was he doing to the street ladies? Uh, Basically, like in the late 1800s, there was just a rash of murders, and but the murders were specific to the ladies of the night, and um, he would rip their bodies apart and rip them up, which is so he got the name.
Oh, so Jack
Uh,
the Ripper again. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so he got that name, but so that it's never been
Ivan, don't
solved.
shake your head, bro. Like you, I don't know. I don't know. I heard the
Yeah,
name, but I didn't know. I didn't know if he
you
was a
never
real
like.
guy or if it was just like a movie thing or like,
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. Well, the problem is, so there's been lots of movies and documentaries and things like
Hmm.
that. Like there's been a whole bunch of stuff because I think the biggest reason is because it's always been unsolved. They don't know who this guy
Yeah,
was. So in the late
there was a
1800s,
shitty
we
movie
didn't
by
have
the Hughes brother did that shitty movie. Remember with wasn't it with what's his name uh the pirate, wasn't he in it?
Johnny Depp. Oh,
Uh, Johnny Depp. Wasn't Johnny Depp in that movie?
Was he in a Jack the
The
Ripper movie?
pirate.
Yeah, Pirates of the
That's
Caribbean. That's why I had.
okay.
That's how
Yeah,
I had to go there, Enrique.
you gotta
But
you gotta use a real
yeah,
language.
the Hughes brothers is for you should know who they are, Enrique. They actually made a Menace to Society. They actually made a well, it wasn't a Jack the Ripper. Well, it was a Jack the Ripper movie, but it was based off a graphic novel where they
Yeah,
said that the person that was Jack the Ripper was actually a doctor to the King and Queen of England. I think
yeah,
that
something
was
like
one of
that.
the because there's been like five people throughout history that really thought it was, and that was the one that I think in the end people believed the most that it
Yeah.
might have been him. But this was a
So,
shit movie that like, nobody watched. I'll think
well,
about it, but continue, Steven. Sorry.
yeah. The biggest problem is there was no like DNA evidence. There was like, the late 1800s was not, what we have today. Like they probably would have caught this dude today. Um but so it's
Oh,
like
I think
they
similar to that, I could beat half of the NBA when it first started. I think I could have got away with a lot of shit. Like back in the days, bro. I think you could have
yeah,
murdered anybody you want to and walked away, and it was like whatever. Can't solve this one. Like, I mean, that's how I feel like. But it's right.
yeah.
Like, don't you feel like you could have done stuff back in the days,
Of
like, compared to how it
course.
is now? It's
Look
crazy.
at how many murders and people buried and they never found them and all that kind of crap.
Hmm. Hmm.
But like they think there's been movies and books and stuff written about this guy just because they've never caught him, and they think it's a doctor, or they think it's a wealthy
Hmm.
guy, or they think it's a poor guy, or they think it's just a regular guy. And every, I don't know, maybe generation or so, maybe every generation, they come up with a new theory about who he is. And so like recently he's been in the news because last week we kind of mentioned that they believe, well, I don't think we did it on the show, I think we were just talking, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
But we were they believe they figured out who it is because of DNA. And so they've got DNA from ancestors, and they've got DNA from a cloth that was left at the scene, like it was a scarf or some kind of wrap or whatever. And so they took the DNA from that, and then they took DNA from like great great grandkids, something like that. Like they've got DNA from them, and they think they've matched it up. I don't know. Like, do you
To who?
believe that? I didn't even pay attention when I was reading it because I was more fascinated that the fact that they're still working on this thing. Like to
Yeah, like
me,
it's still
that
that big
boggles
of a
my
deal.
mind that
Mm-hmm.
they're still trying to figure out who it was. So I didn't even pay attention, but let me see if I can figure
Well,
out.
you looked that up, Steven. So the movie is 2001 From Hell, and it is the Hughes
Oh,
brothers,
that's
and it
right.
is with
That's
Johnny
right.
Depp, and that's
Yeah.
based off of a graphic novel called From Hell, which is really good and creepy. And I know you don't like to read Enrique, but that one, and like, look, I don't either unless it's comic books. That shit's actually really good. The movie's kind of trash, but the graphic novel was cool, and it's the whole thing is based on the doctor being the guy that ended up being Jack the Ripper, which I guess has maybe not like now has been told is not true. But that's what I thought was super interesting too, like what Steven is saying, because it's like, fuck, dude, like still, but they never figured out who it was.
Well, who
And
spends
five
money on
bodies?
this? Like, who's
Yeah,
putting money towards
yeah,
solving something that was done in the 1880s? That's literally almost 150 years ago. Like,
Yeah, what's the point?
yeah, why are we still so obsessed? But so from science.org, there's an article that basically says they think they have pointed to Aaron Kozminski, a 23-year-old Polish barber, and a prime police suspect at the time. So they had like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 people, maybe 10. I don't know
hmm,
what, I'm not sure of the number, but they had like a group of people they thought it might be, but they could never prove it. There was even people like they found dead and they were like, maybe it was him because the murders stopped. Um,
mm.
like there's just been so many stories and whatever. It's very fascinating. But
And
it
in the
says,
1800, oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
In the 1800s, barbers were like different than what we think now, right?
Well,
Didn't they also?
Sweeney Todd, right? Like
Yeah, they
they
also did like
strip
medical
knife on the
procedures,
street.
true,
Yeah.
Who's
right?
Sweeney Todd?
Yeah.
What? You're blowing my mind tonight. Sweeney Todd, the
Damn, so
demon
suck
barber
a
of Fleet Street.
dick. God
He's a
damn it.
guy whose wife got killed and took revenge on the town by killing people and then giving them to Mrs. Lovett, who then made meat pies to boost her business.
Okay.
Duh.
Always
Um,
heard that. I've heard the name Sweeney Todd forever. Did not know that.
that is a fictional story, though. But that's,
Okay. Well, there
yeah,
you go.
that's a fictional story. At least I believe so. Maybe
Yeah,
it's based
no,
on
no,
something.
I've heard that I know it is a fictional story, but
Yeah.
oh, so anyways, I was just saying barbers are a little more. They're more than just the guy that faded you up back in the days,
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes
right?
they would pull teeth and stuff like that.
Bloodletting,
Yeah.
like they would do the whole thing where they would let you bleed
Yeah.
out to so you can get unsick and all that crap. So
Yeah.
yeah, but so this barber is allegedly the guy.
Supposedly, but it says in the first paragraph, it's like, but critics say the evidence isn't strong enough to declare the case closed. We're not going to ever have
Sucker.
But
evidence now at this point. It's 150 years ago.
like, not to sound like
Who gives a shit?
insensitive, but like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah. Well, people like me who brought it up because I was like, "Wow, did you hear that
No,
they
no,
finally
but
got the guy?"
I guess no, but like, it's interesting,
Yeah.
But why would you
But
but
spend
why
all
are
that
they
money and time to figure it out?
Yeah. Like who's
Yeah,
actually researching it? Who's running these DNA tests? Who's tracking down the great great grandkid or whatever and being like,
right,
mhm.
"Hey,
right,
can we get a DNA sample so, I could prove that your great great grandfather father was this badass dude?" Like, I don't know, it's weird.
I, I agree with both
people
of you.
get
Like
caught up
I
on the
understand what you're saying, Enrique.
people get caught up on the idea of being the one that figures it out, right?
Yeah, I think so. And especially with something like this because it's probably one of the most famous talked about like unsolved mysteries, right? Like if they were going to
Mm-hmm.
do an unsolved mystery, like this would be the ultimate one, but I don't know. I feel like cuz it only lasted 3 months or something, it was not a long time
I know.
and it was
Five
not very
bodies though.
many. Yeah, it was four or five people and then they think that he died like the a lot of stuff that puts stuff out like thinks that he died and um like that so they never caught him or whatever cuz he probably
Let's be
was
real.
sick
It's the
or
late
dying.
1800s. The fucking streets are filled with filth. You catch a
Yeah.
cold and shit, you die. It's like
Well,
I, on the other
anything.
hand, would vomit, have diarrhea, and still go out at night. Like, I mean, it's just a different time,
Yeah.
right? Like, you could, the motherfucker
Yeah.
could have caught a cold and been done, and when nobody knows, like he died or whatever, right? Like, that's what
Yeah.
got him. You know what I mean? It's just a common cold or whatever. So, but okay,
Yeah.
so so Enrique, you never like growing up, you never like any like serial killer stuff, or because I get, I wasn't around. I just heard about it probably because I was looking up some weird shit, and I was like, oh, Jack the Ripper. I heard stories about him. Let me look into it. Like none of that
I
stuff
always
ever.
would. I know I've heard Jack the Ripper before. I've heard that. I've heard people.
Mhm.
I don't know, in maybe shows or movies. I don't know, but never really.
Like paid attention to it, right?
No, not enough to the point where, or maybe those conversations were being held, where I had a chance to learn what I just learned right now. I mean,
Mhm.
I never heard
Didn't
that.
you watch Unsolved Mysteries growing up, fool?
I did, but I'm sure yeah, I remember having it on, but you expect me to remember any of that shit?
Oh, bro, I never forget, dog.
Well,
Unsolved
I
Mysteries
know you
was the
don't
shit,
forget a
bro.
lot of stuff. Yeah, I know, which is
But I mean,
impressive
hey,
for me, but
that- but yeah, but I'm gonna fucking die of Alzheimer's, fool. Like, don't even fucking worry about it. That's what's gonna fucking end up getting me and shit. It's gonna betray me in the end. But no, man, it's funny because the other day I was remembering one of my favorite Unsolved Mysteries episodes was the one where they talked about a guy who allegedly was Billy the Kid.
Mm.
And I've told you guys my love for Young Guns. And if you remember Young Guns at the end of it, like it's a guy telling the story and he says he's Billy the Kid or whatever. So I always love that. And I was there. I think it's on Netflix or on one of the fucking 800 streaming services. And I was like, what episode is about Billy the Kid on some mysteries? I rewatched that shit too. I was like, that was funny to me because it was, oh man, like allegedly was Billy the Kid or whatever, right? Which again, probably not, but at the same time, who the fuck, nobody fucking knows. Because these,
yeah,
these fools had aliases. Nobody had a birth certificate.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, nobody ever knows. And no DNA evidence. None of that was around at the time. And right now, nobody's trying to figure it out. So I kind of like the fact that it's left out there. It's almost cooler when it's unanswered. If that
Yeah.
makes any sense, you know what I mean? Because you never know. You
Well, it
never
becomes
know.
like this myth, right? It becomes this
Yeah.
thing.
And what is it? The myths
Yeah.
are always better than the truth.
Of
hmm
Like,
course.
you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where like hearing those stories, you're like, oh yeah. And I mean, growing up. watching and reading a ton about baseball. I fucking, if there's no other sport that literally lives off of myths more than baseball and shit. When they tell stories about old
May-
players, it's like they move mountains, bro. Like, you know what I
maybe
mean?
maybe Jack the Ripper was another lady of the night that was trying to take out her competition. I
So
mean,
there
Uh,
was I saw some story or whatever that kind of mentioned that she was like a not a lady of the night, but like
a
uh
church girl, a church lady.
no, like the what do you call the head lady? The head lady, whatever you call the
Oh,
head
the
lady.
the pimp, the female
Yeah,
pimp,
yeah. Like I saw
oh,
something about that
a
once. Yeah,
female, a female pimp?
a pimp.
Really? A
a
pimp.
pimp.
There you go. No, I was saying no because it's very rare to get a female serial killer. I
Yeah,
mean, that's just almost like that's
It's
you know
1800s, bro. You don't know.
Lizzie Borden,
that's
man.
exactly why I know because it's the 1800s. Like maybe now because I don't fucking know anymore. Like right, you know what I mean? But it's usually 99.9% of the time, right? It is usually
Yeah.
males.
Maybe this lady was married to a dude that was always messing around on her with ladies from the night, and she had enough.
Nah, she would have chopped off his wiener.
Back in the
You know
day,
what
that's
I mean?
true.
Like
No, she
I feel
she was
like
probably
that's
getting
where
her
it would
ass
have went.
beat. She was probably getting her ass beat
Yeah,
every night by him.
it's the 1800s, bro. Like you
Yeah.
just called it out, dude. That's one of the things. And just to let people know that I looked up Collider's list of best Jack the Ripper movies. From Hell is at 4.
Oh,
There's actually 10 of them. I know there was 10 movies, but the
there's
number
a
one
lot.
movie that kind of makes me want to see it now is um, Murder by Decree, directed by Bob Clark, 1979, and it's Sherlock Holmes
Ooh,
trying to
I gotta
figure out the
write
case
that
of Jack the
down.
Ripper. Look at
Write
Steven.
it
Steven's got them down
down.
now. Yeah.
Murder by
It's
decree.
Sherlock Holmes is on the case of Jack the Ripper and discovers the murders may be linked to a member of the royal family, which again is that doctor, no?
Hmm. Yeah, maybe.
And it has Christopher Plummer is Sherlock Holmes, and James Mason
Ooh.
is Watson.
What year was that? 80?
1979,
79. All right, I'm
and
gonna
they also
watch that.
considered it
I'm
one of
gonna
the
find
best
it.
Sherlock Holmes movies too.
Why have I not
So
even
it's on
heard
two
of
lists.
that? Okay, I'm gonna have to watch that.
So Stevens will get us an update on this movie. It's something that we should watch. Hold on, I just want to see something real quick. Going to the Sherlock Holmes.
What are some of
It
the
is in
other
their top
ones?
10 list of Sherlock Holmes movies.
Oh
Also,
wow,
yep.
okay.
hmm That's kind of
I
cool.
know.
All right, but today, and hopefully you guys are ready because we didn't even talk about this before, but we're ready to rock and roll. Today's list
I'm
is
ready.
top 5 sopas, top
Oh.
5 soups. All right. So, what are your top 5 soups? Now, before we get into the list, is there nothing better than on a cold day to walk into your house and be able to sit down with a bowl of soup? And again, soups are one of those things though, except for maybe one on my list. I don't like ordering them anywhere else. I don't like ordering them out. It's one of those like home things that for some reason just seem to work better for me
Mm.
personally, with the soups. But again, 'cause I don't know why I was trying to go through my head. It's like, when have you sat down at somewhere else other than one thing? Oh, actually, maybe two now that I think about it. But I still preferred the other one that my mom made. But again, a bowl of soup on a cold day. I'll also have soups on a hot day, but something about on a cold day just kind of works. Everybody knows the
Mm-hmm.
love of a chicken noodle soup when you're feeling sick. Something about those warm, just feeling great. So we are talking about top 5 soups. But once again, because Enrique and I are the last two gentlemen left on the internet, Stevens, can you give us your top 5 soups? 5 to 1, not 1 to 5, because that pisses off Enrique. So, what is your top 5 soups, guys?
Love it. Yes. So I had to sit back and like of all the things we've done, I mean there's been a few things that haven't had a lot of choices like fries.
hmm
Right? There was not a lot of fries to choose from except unless you were
hmm
thinking about the restaurants. But I was like, I was like and I had to go through and I guess I'm not very adventurous with soup. I don't know what it is, but so you might not be impressed.
Anything else?
But here we go. Well, like you were saying though, you find that comfort one. So
hmm
anytime I have soup, that like I go to
You go to
that
that one.
one.
Yeah, yeah, that's
And
fact.
so like
hmm
I haven't tried a whole bunch. I was like, oh,
hmm
interesting. So number 5 is vegetable beef or like a minestrone. So like the red kind of
Hey.
based soup with
Mm-hmm.
lots of veggies, maybe
Mm-hmm.
pasta or no pasta, maybe meat, no meat. It doesn't matter to me, but like that. Um, like vegetables just broiling like in a stew all day.
Mm-hmm.
So good. So that's my number 5. Oh, and with crackers, even better. That's the best part
Mm-hmm.
with crackers, I think. Number 4 is a good corn chowder.
Ooh. Okay.
Yes, I love a good corn chowder. Um, because it's almost like cream corn, but like thicker. I don't know. There's something about it. So corn chowder is my number 4. Number 3 is this is gonna be stupid, but I love Olive Garden's Toscana soup, the Super Toscana. It's their
That
potato
that
and
particular one though.
yes, it's their potato
Okay.
and it's a green thing, but I don't know what it is because it's not spinach or what is it? Does anybody know what that green stuff in that is? I don't even know, but
I
it's
have
so
no
good.
idea.
Um, so it's almost like a creamy potato soup, but it's not a cream potato soup because it's whole chunks of potatoes and it's almost like a chicken noodle broth almost.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that mixture. And that one is really yummy. Like if we ever go to that's all I want is soup and salad at Olive Garden.
Yeah.
And
I'm
sometimes
not
that's
mad
what
at
I
that.
crave. Yeah, I'm like I want to go get
Mm-hmm.
that soup. At number 2 is chicken noodle. Cuz why would it
Yeah.
not
Mhm.
be? It when you're
Mm-hmm.
sick, that's what you get. There's the just the plain old, 99-cent Campbell's chicken noodle, which is bomb. Or you can get like homemade thick noodle, real chicken,
Mm-hmm.
like all of that cooked down, which is so good too. Like a homemade chicken noodle
Yeah.
is
Fire.
so yummy.
It's a
And
process,
then
and I've done it a few times, but it's so worth it.
yeah, it's really good
Mm-hmm.
and like it cooks down and just the flavors all meld and
Mm-hmm.
you eat all the goodies and then you just drink the broth down or at least that's how
Mm-hmm.
I do and like it's yeah, chicken noodle. And then at number 1 is creamy potato soup because
Good.
I
Good. That's a
love
good one too.
potatoes. So I know I got 2 potato soups in there, but they are different. And if a plate like if it's a cold evening out for dinner and they have soup, I'll always look to see if they have a potato soup because
Cream potato soup. Oh, okay.
I will
Very
order
cool.
that one out. Yeah, there you can't really
That's
go
awesome.
wrong with those.
See,
So
those are
there
all
you
good.
go.
None of those are on my list, but those are all good soups.
Yeah,
You know what
and
I
I have
mean?
some
Like the
honorable mentions,
yeah.
but I was just
Is
like,
there a
yeah, these are
soup
my.
you hate?
I do not like broccoli cheese.
Ah, okay.
Really?
Not really. I think I've had it once in my life, and I was like, whatever.
I don't like broccoli. I have a problem with the texture of the floor.
The
What are
fibrous,
the
like the
florets or whatever?
yeah, the little
Yeah,
tree part of it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. I have a problem with that, and I don't like the flavor of it either. It's just not. It just doesn't sit with me well. So I don't like broccoli by itself, and I don't like it in cheddar cheese soup, which people are always like, eat it with cheese, you'll like it. And nope, it does
Like
not make
nah,
me like it. It has never
nah, dog.
helped. It
Still
doesn't do
didn't work.
anything for me. Yeah. So
I love it. All
um
right.
yeah.
Well, if nothing else, this list has told us that Stevens really does love potatoes. She wasn't lying to you because you've got two
Oh yeah.
potatoes on that list. All right,
Yep.
Enrique, what are your top five sopas?
So when it comes, I don't order a lot of soups. Um,
Yeah, same here.
I have. I mean, sometimes I have in the past, but it's not a go to for me. And if I do order a soup, I'm always gonna lean towards a creamy soup,
Mhm.
not
Hmm.
not a broth so much. Not that I don't
Hmm.
like some of those. I'm just always kind of go more towards the creamy stuff. But my list doesn't necessarily consist of a lot of creamy soup. So uh, actually, my number 5 is actually a broth. Is actually chicken noodle soup is my cinco.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
I think I would find it hard to believe that anybody does not like chicken noodle soup,
Yeah.
and it's just there's with crackers. It's there's a seems like every soup with crackers is kind of the move.
Mhm.
My number 4 is I guess a Mexican version of that. It's caldo de pollo. To me,
Mhm.
it's I don't know.
Mm.
It's a little
It's
different,
different.
but
It is different.
yeah.
There's no noodles with it.
Another
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
Another broth that goes
Mhm.
totally against what I just said a minute ago. But the caldo de pollo, what I've always liked about it is like the way my mom and my grandma always made it was like the big pieces of like chicken breast in it that just was so soft and just break it up, and it's just I don't know, it was just so good. Number 3 is broccoli and cheddar.
All right. You like it all you want. It's just it's
I
not the one
don't,
I like.
and I don't like broccoli at all. I refuse to
Oh,
eat broccoli. My mom always tries to make me eat broccoli even to this day when she comes to town, and even Amanda, if we
God, I
ever have
love it.
broccoli, she'll be like, "You should eat some broccoli." I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna do it. It's not happening. Sorry."
Unless
But you
it's
like
swimming
the
in
soup?
cheddar.
So I'll tell you a story that kind of traumatized me. When I was living in Texas at the time, and me and Amanda were dating.
And he's done.
We were out and about, and we were hanging out with some of our friends, and we were in a car, and this girl had been munching on broccoli, like like the vegetable tray type of deals. She was eating broccoli the whole time, and we had stopped at a convenience store. She was sitting in the front seat, me and Amanda were in the back, and she burped, and the fucking smell went right into my face, and it was all like it was the broccoli like that she hadn't been eating, and I'm like done. Like
Oh,
I
gross.
can't. Yeah,
And his
like
mouth
I was
was
still.
open. It was fucking gross all the way around.
It was gross. It was super gross.
Mhm.
Um, but bro, I'll fuck with broccoli and cheddar. I like broccoli and cheddar.
That doesn't smell like
Sequoia,
broccoli to you?
not really.
Hmm.
I like
Interesting.
the creaminess of it, and
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason, the
Okay.
broccoli in that doesn't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Mhm.
It's weird. My number 2 is menudo.
Yeah. Fire.
Yeah, I mean menudo. Like I don't have it a lot because my number 1 is still it's similar to menudo, but I like it more for some reason. And maybe as it goes back to it's a little bit more can be a little bit more creamy, and maybe it's a little bit more
Mm,
thick. Is pozole is my
Mm-hmm.
number 1.
mm.
And I know that, I mean the main difference is the type of meat you use, right?
Well, I mean, there's green pozole too. There's even white pozole. Usually, menudo's just menudo. It's always a red based sauce. So
Right.
I mean, and I mean, it's a little different for sure because I know people who make chicken pozole too. Some people use meat. Some people, when you're making menudo, you're using stomach lining, bro, and pata.
Which
That's
I
what you're
like.
using. There's not
Yeah.
really another
Which
version of it. Hmm.
I like my pozole with chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Um,
Hmm.
so I kind of grew up eating it with chicken, and I've always liked it. So, but yeah, those are my top 2. And those for I mean for me, I don't need it. I guess I keep them in very high on my list of that kind of stuff is because I don't get to eat it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really get tired of it. I guess I could
Yeah.
go to restaurants and eat menudo, I guess, but like, I'm not gonna order menudo if I go to a restaurant. Some people, I know a lot of people do,
Hmm.
but I'm gonna go for a generic, breakfast if I go
Mm-hmm.
to a restaurant.
Yeah.
So it's always, holiday season was usually when I eat that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like In
Right.
and Out, right? I don't have In and Out every
All the time.
weekend, so it keeps it fresh. So when I do eat it, it's like, oh hell yeah, this is
Yeah.
good.
Hmm.
So kind of one of those things. But yeah, those are my top 5. I have some
Is there a
honorable
soup
mention.
you
I have a
can't
couple
stand?
honorable mentions. Is there a soup I can't stand? Oh, you know what I should have put on here, honestly, probably over broccoli and cheddar is chicken pot pie.
Would you call that a soup?
Is that a soup though?
Sequoia sandwiches. Sequoia has a chicken pot pie kind of soup
Soup.
thingy.
Oh.
Oh. Mm.
Yeah, and
Is it
it's
like
really
a
good.
creamy potato with chicken in it? Is it kind of
Pretty
like that?
much.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But does it
And
have
I think
bread
Yum.
in
That's
it?
probably good.
they put like little chunks of bread in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's almost like a dumpling
Yeah,
situation, then
maybe,
Yeah.
probably,
yeah.
no? Yeah.
Yeah, but
Is chicken
they
dumpling
call it
considered a soup?
Chicken and dumplings. Well, I don't know, because I could have put that on there, but I didn't think about it as a soup. But I suppose it is like pozole or
Interesting.
something like that.
Yeah, like a broth kind of a thing. Oh, I mean,
Yeah, it
more
is.
like of a yeah. Okay.
Well, and like stews,
Oh,
really, I questioned that too because I was like, are stews like a soup? And I was
I would
like,
consider a
Yeah,
stew a
sounds
soup.
like
yeah,
kind
for
of
sure.
right. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
No, yeah. I would have considered that for sure. But okay. But no, so there's nothing you dislike though, Enrique. Like you can't think of one at least.
Um,
Not one on my list.
I know, since she hated on your broccoli
well,
cheddar.
I haven't I don't have a lot of experience with soup. I really
Hmm.
don't because I'm not gonna really pick a soup over a fucking burger or whatever at
Yep.
a
Yeah, that's
place,
what I'm
right?
saying. Yeah, that's what I
Yep.
said. It's kind of hard. That's more like a home
So
thing to
then
me,
if I'm
right?
gonna order a soup, I'm not gonna get all of adventurous about it. I'm not gonna go into this fucking
Go
adventure and be
fucking
like,
crazy, bro.
let me fucking try that. What that's all about. No, I'm not gonna
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna order fucking broccoli and cheese or chicken noodle, if I order
Yeah.
a soup. So
Okay.
some of those you mentioned, I've never had them. So
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, man. This was kind of like the fried one to me. I have a lot of honorable mentions, bro.
Yeah, I
yeah.
have
I was
some.
surprised
I
at
have a
how
lot.
many honorable mentions I freaking had. A good tomato bisque,
Oh, with
bro.
the grilled
Fucking
cheese.
fire, bro. French onion
Never
soup
had it.
with that
Oh
cheese on
my
top.
god, I forgot
French
French
onion soup with that cheese on top.
onion.
Fire, bro. A ramen,
Ah,
a good ramen. Come
ramen is
on,
good.
bro. Like a
See,
And
I
good
I
didn't think
ramen
guess
about
goes
ramen as
hard,
soup
bro.
either.
Like, oh, that's
it,
a
it is a
soup.
soup.
It
It is a
is.
soup,
They
but I
It
give
don't
you
I
a
don't
is.
look at
bone to
it.
eat it.
No, yeah, no, no, no. You're right. You're right.
I
But
just
I
didn't think
don't
about it like that.
I don't think
Yeah.
about it like that either. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, good.
it was hard to leave it off the list. I'll be honest with you. That
Dang.
was another one of those.
I'm sad I did not think of French onion. How did I miss
Dude,
that?
I tried it one
I
Hey,
time with
love
that
Stevens.
French
cheese
onion
wheel.
soup.
Stevens,
Oof,
Stevens, let me tell you,
oof.
this is your podcast. You can do whatever you want. Put it on your list.
You do what the fuck you want, Stevens.
Yeah,
Okay,
Stevens.
Stevens,
Insert it
are
in
you
there
going to
somewhere.
add French onion dip to your list?
French onion dip? No, but
Oh,
French
sorry,
onion
French.
soup?
Sorry,
Yeah,
That's not a
you know
soup,
what?
sir.
It would
sorry. My
probably
bad, my bad.
become I would probably put it right at number 4 and slide my
Okay,
other ones down.
okay. All right,
So are you
the
doing
list
that?
has been changed.
Yes,
Are
I
you
am.
officially are
I
you
am
officially doing that?
officially changing my
Change it.
list.
See? That was easy,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Yeah, thanks.
dude.
Yeah.
A clam
Dang, how
chowder,
did I forget that? No,
a
that's
Clam
an
good clam
chowder?
honorable
chowder.
mention for me. That's
That's an
honorable
honorable mention
mention.
for
A
me.
good chowder,
Yep.
bro.
Yep, yep.
Anything in a bowl, like in a bread bowl, like
Oh,
one of those
Yeah.
bread bowls. Come on, fire, bro. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm
that's
saying.
yeah. Have you
And
had the
shout
West
out.
Coast sourdough? Have you had the West Coast sourdough
No,
yes.
I
clam
haven't.
chowder
Is it
in a
good?
bowl?
Almost every time I order a sandwich.
Oh, okay. You get a little soup too. All right, I'm about to try that. And shout out to Ritz for being like my cracker of choice with a lot of the soups that I be eating. Like
Everything.
shout out to Ritz in the
Everything.
game, fool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
everything.
I love Ritz, bro. I have Ritz with a little bit of cheese on it, get sexy, and I put a little peanut butter and jelly when I don't want to get a piece of bread out on that. Fucking love the Ritz crack. Ritz, hit us up, bro. Like I love the Ritz
Yeah.
crackers, dude.
The wheat
God
ones?
damn. All right.
Have you had the wheat ones? Those are so good
That's all I eat is
too.
the wheat ones.
Oh
The wheat
man,
ones
they're
are my
so good.
favorite, bro. Like they're so
Yeah.
good.
The
And they're
original
fake
butter
healthy.
ones though are good too, but the wheat ones are
And
so
they are.
good.
But I do like the wheat ones better.
Yeah.
I think my mom got on this wheat kick for a while, and everything that we had, like, so I like wheat bread, I like wheat grits, I like wheat tortillas.
I
Like,
do
they're
too.
all still bad for you. They're all still bad for you, but
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
makes you feel better. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
It's
So
it's
all of that
better
stuff, I'm good.
it's better for you than the white bread, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the thing. Yeah.
Which, America, if you learn anything
I
else, the brown
I
version is
I
usually
heard you.
better. But with that being said, my top 5 soups at number 5 is the OG, the first thing I ever learned how to cook. We're doing the air quotes as I say this. Cup of noodles. Fuck you, strong in the
Cup
game.
of
You put a little bit of
noodles.
lemon and tapatio in that bitch, and you hide the hot water, and it's a fire soup. It gets the job done. I love cup of noodles. It's hard for me not to eat one every day because it's just simple, but it works. It makes sense. I love it. So cup of noodles,
That
my number 5
much?
for sure.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. Cup of noodles are amazing to me.
I
It brings me back to being a kid at home by myself
yeah, no,
Mm.
for
and
sure.
being like,
For sure.
I can do this. Like,
Did
this is
you
my
ever
first thing.
did you ever did you ever eat them raw?
No, but I've heard they're a good chip almost, right?
Yeah,
People
I
tell me
used to
this.
eat them raw.
You
You
add the
can
powder, right?
No,
Like, or
I
not
wouldn't
even the
do
powder.
that.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I would
So
just
just
kind
so
of
the
break them
white
up.
noodle by itself.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
you can
okay.
put them.
All right.
I've had them on salads and stuff. You can add them like as a crunchy
Yeah,
topping.
yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to
that
give
would
a
be
bite
good,
out
man.
one of these days. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Number four, where probably most of my love of soups comes from, my mom used to make this thing called espinazo. It's a spinal cord of the cow in a broth, almost like a mole, but a broth because we would drink it with a spoon. You would get some lemon onions and throw that in there. And what I loved about the spinal cord is it's very porous. I guess maybe that's the word I'm using. And I found out that on my mom's side of the family that's where I get it from. We love to like. This sounds. I'm gonna have to say pause at one point in time, but we love to fucking just chew on bones. Like my teeth are gonna be fucked, bro, because I will sit there and just like give me a pork chop with the bone in it. I'm just gonna fucking go to town on that thing. Like I've eaten marrow out of chicken bone, bro. Like I don't fuck around when it comes to that.
Oh.
And the spinal cord has all that like juice in it's yeah, out of hand, bro. So Espinazo, my number four for sure. Number
Is it
three,
like a
this
red?
was
Is it like a red base or
yes,
like what?
red, for
Oh,
sure,
okay.
red. Yeah, red, almost purple. hmm My
Oh.
number three, this was a hard one, but I'm gonna go with old school Campbell's alphabet soup.
Oh yeah,
Alphabet
alphabet
soup,
is good.
no meat, is just a noodle and like no, a carrot, I think, in the cube.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what the green cube is, but it's also some kind of vegetable. I
Yeah.
love that soup. I will still every once in a while pop one of those cans open, add that cup of water, add that can of water in there, and then just let it go to work.
I
And with
bet.
Ritz crackers, alphabet soup, man. Also, when I didn't have a cup of noodles, I probably had some alphabet soup, and I love the
Hmm.
taste of it. That
Yep.
red broth, not yeah, the red broth is just so good. Old school Campbell,
It
good.
is.
I love it.
Yep.
Number two,
Stupid.
oh, this was so hard going back and forth. But number
Yeah.
two, a sopa de fideo.
Fideos
God
on my
damn
honorable
it, dude. A
mention.
red
Yeah.
sopa de fideo with tortilla tac with tortilla tacos
Yes.
with crema and a tortilla and a little bit of salt. I could eat like 30 tortillas and just eat that fucking soup all day
I
long.
didn't do
It's
the
so
crema and I
simple.
didn't do the crema and salt, but I would do the tortilla, the corn
Just tortilla and
tortilla
dip it in
rolled
there.
up and dip it in or take a bite
Yeah.
and
Next
take
time,
the
get a
eat
little crazy,
yeah.
bro. Get a little sour cream and put a little salt in there and just get a little wild, bro. Just see what happens. Because sometimes
Yeah.
what I would do
Yeah.
is throw the sour cream directly into the sopa and just
Oh
eat it like
shit.
that.
Oh,
Oh,
making it
so
creamy
good,
soup?
bro. Yeah, it almost becomes a creamy soup. Yeah, exactly. It's so freaking good. I like the
Yeah, Fidel's
strings,
bomb.
the alphabet, the shells, but string is my favorite. The little noodles is totally my favorite.
Yeah.
But number one, the OG of them all, and maybe this has to do with the fact that my mom wouldn't do it all the time because it's so hard to do and it's such a process. It is menudo. Freaking love it. I love menudo. The stomach lining is so fucking good. Enrique is right though. I don't really go to restaurants to eat it, but there is a meat market where we have gotten our menudo, and if we're gonna get menudo, like we're like, hey, you want menudo? Yeah, okay. And I go buy the one, two, three, four orders of menudo that we're gonna have that day, and just have it. I freaking love it. It's the chewiness, the homony's okay. I don't mind it. The sauce, the flavor of the broth is so good. Everybody tells you that's what you're supposed to have when you're hungover. Maybe that's where my love really got established for it in college and stuff like that. But god dang it, I love it. I love menudo. It's so freaking good. But you have to find your spot to do it. Because I've had some rough menudo before, and it's rough when it's rough. Like when it's bad, it's bad. But when it's really good, it's really, really good. And my mom's menudo is still probably my favorite, but there's a few places I found out throughout that I'll just love it. It's one of those things that I tell myself one of these days I'm going to try. I haven't gotten brave enough to try that because it is such a freaking process. I remember
Is it?
mom like almost doing it overnight, like kind of a thing, like waking up
Mm.
super early to do it and have to do all that. I'm like, damn, that's such a process. But
What's
it's like
what's
it
hard
seems like
about
with
it?
soups, right? What's that? I
What's
don't
hard
know.
of
I don't know. I just know my mom. It wasn't just like you woke up in the morning at 8 or 7 in the
And
morning and
put it
made it for
on.
breakfast. You'd have to do
You
it the
didn't
day
you
before to
didn't
get
just
going.
throw it all in the pot and let it
But
simmer all
doesn't it
day
seem
or
like all
whatever.
soups are kind of like that when you really think about
Yeah.
it, right? It's a slow, long. Because pozole is like I've made pozole before, and I made my pozole in the instant pot one, and it still took a while.
Oh
Couldn't even
my.
yeah.
imagine on a regular pot. You know what I mean? I had to
Mhm.
wait for a while. So I know when my
Mhm.
mother-in-law makes it, I'm lucky enough that she makes it. Because like I'll be honest with you, I'm not the biggest fan of pozole. Pozole is not one of those things that I look for, because
What
also had a lot of
what
bad
is it?
pozoles. I've
Yeah,
had a
what
lot of
don't you
bad
like?
pozoles. I feel like pozole is one of those, just like birria, is one of those things that
Yeah.
they make for quinceañeras and parties. And when I think
Yeah.
they make it for that, they mass produce it so
It's too
much that it doesn't
big.
taste good.
Yeah.
So I've
Yeah.
always realized that I think that's where my dislike from it came from. But when it's a just a somebody at home doing it, like now recently the times I had is because my mother-in-law makes it. It's fire. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Yeah.
like, oh my, but it's good compared to what you usually have at these super mass produced things or whatever. Now my least favorite, and this is also my mom's fault though, and it's more my dad's fault though, but my least favorite soup of all time is caldo de pollo because
Oh,
Really?
my dad would have to yes, because my dad would have to have it every Saturday because he was drunk from Friday night. So we had
oh,
to have it every single freaking Saturday morning. And he did not like flavor. He did not like rice in it. Like some
oh.
people put
So
rice
it's
in it.
just
He
plain.
did not like veggies. I felt like my mom just got a pot of water and dropped fucking chicken in there and maybe an onion, and that was it. And there was nothing else
Oh,
in that damn chicken soup. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ.
But
Let's get crazy.
that wasn't a real caldo de pollo. Don't hate
That's
on
what I'm
caldo de
saying.
pollo
But
until you
I'm
have it.
never gonna, nah, never gonna have it again, bro. I'm never
well,
gonna order it
it's
again.
ruined.
I'm never,
Yeah.
yeah, it's ruined, bro. It's ruined. No, I'm sure that if I went, I'm not gonna be an asshole. If I went, like, when I was in Mexico, one of my family members would have made a caldo de pollo. I'm not gonna like, no, I'm not gonna eat this. You fucking eat it,
Mhm.
right? Because you're not gonna be rude. But it's
Yeah.
nothing that I'll ever like. Oh, I'm gonna make a really good. Fuck it. I'd rather make a menudo. Shit,
Yeah.
I'd rather have pozole at that point. You know what I mean? It's just that, yeah, that thing every Saturday from the day I was born till the day I got out that goddamn place was caldo de pollo, bro. And it was just like, ugh, it's just not my fan favorite. But other than that, I had a really bad experience with chicken and dumplings one time. That shit's gross when it's not done well, because
Yeah.
it's dough and it's or ah
Yeah.
fuck it was moving was what it was and shit.
Yeah.
Shit was still like still was making noises in the morning. It was gross. But other than that, man, soups are awesome.
So
I
you guys,
like
so one of my honorable mentions, and I didn't mention it because I thought it might have come up, but I love albondigas.
Oh, okay,
You
yeah.
guys didn't mention that. Like that's not one of your what's not one of your go-tos?
I've probably had that once or twice in my life, honestly.
Oh, wow.
what?
Yeah,
Really? Oh
yeah.
wow. I have that like once or twice a month. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
It's
Yeah,
good.
my
Like,
mother-in-law makes albondigas all the time too.
oh,
Hmm.
okay. Yeah, that
And yeah,
one's
same thing.
one
I
of
get the
my
tortilla
honorable
taco, the
mentions.
tortilla with sour cream going in that bad boy too.
Mhm.
Yeah. And you get veggies in there, you get meat, yeah, that's a
Mhm.
good one too. Not wrong
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, sauce. Again, I was surprised at how many soups were on my list, and I'm probably forgetting some of the honorable mentions right now. But god
Yeah.
dang, dude, grilled cheese and some tomato bisque. That was hard to leave off, man. That was right. I was like 5.5, bro. That might have been the
It
closest race to five, bro.
that's a
It's
good
so
one.
good. It's so good,
Yeah,
bro.
that is a good one.
Any other honorable mentions, Enrique?
I
Let me look
had
at
the
my list.
fideo. I had clam
Hmm.
chowder. I've had clam chowder
Hmm.
once, but it was so good.
Really good. Dude,
It was
I don't
really
fuck. I
good.
fucked around with some of that chunky soup clam chowder for a while. I was like, when you live in rough, bro, you figure it out, bro. Shout out
That
to
one's
Chunky
not
Soup.
it's not bad,
Chunky Soup
yeah.
has some good soups, bro.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then
What a
my other honorable mention is chicken tortilla soup.
that's the one I was
Chicken
gonna say, that
tortilla.
one too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's
yeah.
good.
That's a good
Last time
soup.
we were in Mexico, we ate uh, sopa de azteca like a few times, and that
Does it
was a
have
little
rice
different
like
too.
with a
No,
little bit of rice in it?
it almost felt like a fideo with more shit in it. If I had to be
Okay.
honest with you, like not
Okay.
just a noodle, but it had some other shit on top of it. But it was that fideo flavor. Fire, dude. We fell in love with that too. One of those things where I'm like, I gotta look up that recipe. That should be pretty easy to make or
Because like
whatever.
I
But that was
also
a good one.
like I didn't put it on my honorable mention or nothing, but like a Aztec chicken and rice soup.
Okay.
Oh.
It's have you ever had I don't know if you guys have ever had it. It's got like, it's got the chicken in it, but then it's got like really thin rice or like it's just it's not overpowered by rice, but there's some rice
Mm,
in it. And
okay.
Mm.
it has a really good good flavor. I don't have that a lot either. I've had it a couple times, but every time I've had it, it's been really good.
Mm, okay. What
Yeah.
about you, Stevens? Any other honorable mentions?
No, between all the lists, those are pretty much them.
Well, there you go,
So
guys. It's not it. Well, shit, it's supposed to be cold right now, but where we're at, decided to say, "Fuck you guys and your coldness, bro. Put those sweaters away, bitches. It's 7 degrees time over here. So
uh,
hopefully, maybe 2 more weeks somewhere we get a little bit colder or something. But we'll see.
I
But
hope.
in on a semi-warm sort of a day, we feel like a soup, guys. There's 15 for you, or at least 12 or 13 because we doubled up. But then we gave you some honorable mentions too, man. Check it out. Tell us what your top five soups are. Get to all the socials, MySpace, AOL Messenger, all those new things or whatever, Facebook, Meta, whatever the fuck he wants to call it with his curly haired self. And check it out, guys, and see what's going on. We'll probably get banned from that one if we had one. But But again, they're not banning shit anymore. So it doesn't matter, guys. It's all good. But check it out, guys. Tell us what you think. Give us ideas for other lists. Those are our top five soups. We'll be back next week with another top five list. But for today, that is it. Enrique, say bye.
Bye, everyone. See you guys next week.
Stevens, let them know.
See you later.
And remember, my name is Ivan. Love you guys. Remember, guys, Wu Tang's for the children.